probably heard the term leaving money on the table. Now, often this speaks to when we've not negotiated hard enough or we've not offered them something extra. But there's another layer to this. This is when someone can't afford your product, but you have the opportunity to sell them it at a lower rate. Now, managers probably don't like hearing this, but it's the reality of sales, particularly if you work in a more transactional, quicker sales cycle. Sometimes you need to use price as a way of getting the deal over the line. So what we're going to talk about today is how we can build some urgency through price, but also get commitment from the client. So this is going to mean a quick, easy negotiation that gets them qualified really, really quickly, but also builds out a nice timeline for the customer to purchase the product now. So let's paint a hypothetical scenario. You've got a dream customer, you've taken them through your sales process, they really want to purchase your product. The price point of your product is $6,000. However, the customer has indicated that they don't have that budget. Now, there's a couple of things we need to get from the customer. First of all, we need to understand, well, how much do they have? We need to earn the right to do that. And second of all, we need to understand if we can be flexible with that price point, we want a decision made quickly, ideally today. And here's how we position it to the customer. Well, look, you guys are obviously very, very keen to move forward. However, it's outside of your price point. We understand that your currency is clearly budget. Our currency is time. So if we can get this at a price point that's affordable for you and within your budget, but also at a timeline that works for us, would you be happy to move forward? Now, what we're getting them to commit to there is that if we can show some flexibility, will they commit to purchasing the product? If they turn around and say yes, brilliant. We've now earned the right to ask their budget. Now, this is an interesting one because salespeople often are afraid to do this. They're often afraid to ask for budget once you've agreed that you might be able to show some flexibility. Well, this is how this scenario might play out. Okay, great. Well, look, we may be able to show some flexibility. To do that, I need to understand what we're working with. So what is your budget? Well, we're not going to give you our budget. Well, then it's very, very difficult for me to meet a price point when I don't know what that price point is. So now this is great because all of a sudden we've said, well, look, we may be able to be flexible, but I need to know what I'm moving towards. And if the customer doesn't give you the budget then you basically quelled the negotiation. It's very, very difficult for them not to give you that budget. Now, scenario B is that they turn around and go, well, look, we've got $5,000 to spend, in which case we can now crank up that commitment and the urgency. Okay, fine, well, look, I'm not promising I can do this, but if we can get the price point of $5,000, can you make a decision today? Brilliant. We've now used the price point as a way of building urgency to get the deal over the line immediately. So let's just sum up what we're speaking about here. If you're working in a transactional environment and you have to use price as a lever to get the deal in, it's important to first of all get commitment from the client that if you can show flexibility, they can make the decision. We then need to earn the right to learn what their budget is. If we've given them that carrot and teased them out that we can show some flexibility, you perfectly have the right to say, well, what number am I moving towards? Now, lastly, what you're getting in return and the balance of this negotiation is a quick decision. So if we can do this, can you make the decision today? Can you get a signed contract back today? So now we're just testing and stress testing the customer that they can then make that commitment and ultimately turn it into a signed contract. Well, I hope this has been useful in helping you build more urgency and ultimately closing more deals. You know the drill by now. Subscribe, like, share, follow, the usual stuff. And as always, happy selling.